to take you out to some breaking news that we have been following here as we gather additional details. Take a look at this post here as an investigation is underway after someone apparently shot at the home of well-known conservative commentator Tim Pool. The podcast host has millions of followers all over social media on multiple platforms and has become an influential voice for some conservatives out there. Now, he posted a short time ago this right here on his X page saying, quote, "Last night, a vehicle approached our property and opened fire. No one was hurt. Our security team is reviewing the incident and will be relaying the report to appropriate law enforcement. This is the price we pay for speaking out against evil."
Now, who's to say that Tim Pool isn't speaking on certain things that are perceived as evil to other people? You know, recently, just before this happened, he just happened to just go off a rant about Candace Owens, calling her a scumbag, calling her all these names of how she's destroying Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk's legacy. Like, he knows everything that's going on in Candace Owens' brain. Do you guys believe out there that we need our government to tell us the 100% truth on everything, to be fully transparent and so we can trust them? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. I've watched Tim Pool for quite some time now. And, you know, I've listened to his videos, I've listened to his different interviews, guests that he would bring on. And, you know, he says and claims that he leans more, I don't know, in the middle. But he gets so defensive every time someone believes or says something where they believe he leans more conservative. Like, he hates being called conservative, when a lot of his talking points are conservative. So it's very confusing why he just doesn't... I mean, you don't have to pick a side, but just admit the type of views that you are that align with which side, you know, happens to align more with what you think. People just like to want to play the middleman, want to play, hey, you know, I'm just over here on the sidelines. I'm watching everybody argue left and right. I'm not part of left and right. I'm over here. No, if you're speaking on points, just admit it and be okay with it and move on with life. You're going to get criticized either way. Like me, I don't give a damn. Anything I say, you know, maybe I'll say certain things at certain times on certain subjects about being conservative, and then there'll be other times I may lean more liberal on certain issues. I'm not going to sit here and play the game of, well, I'm on the sideline, but, you know, I'm not this or that. Like, I lean more conservative. I know this. And, you know, I just happened to come across Tim Pool, listening to his interviews and getting to know who he was, you know, just from watching him online. And it really honestly surprised me and struck me when he went after Candace Owens, because he doesn't know what's going on in the Charlie Kirk investigation.
And no question, a lot of folks out there, especially Republicans, are putting out some information here to provide kind of their take on all of this. And I want to pop this up on your screen. This is coming in from Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. She replied to the comment and said, "This is terrifying. I'm glad everyone is okay. Everyone must stand together against this type of political violence and intimidation, no matter who it happens to, whether you like them or not." And we also have a post here coming in from General Mike Flynn, who did serve under the first Trump administration, saying, "This is the sort of madness that occurs in a deeply divided society where the adversaries are seeking to create crises instead of stopping them from happening in the first place. Glad to hear no one is hurt. We need to figure out how to return to sanity quickly before worse domestic conditions are created by those who foment false flags and fake crises for the sole purpose of creating chaos." Now, he did tag several different people in that post, including President Trump and Secretary Kristi Noem with the Department of Homeland Security, as well as Secretary of Defense and War Pete Hegseth.
We need to figure it out. We do need to figure it out. I can tell you right now, the biggest solution to a lot of this, into bringing people together and stop being so divisive, is having a full, transparent government on every single thing. Whether it's the Epstein files, UFOs, JFK, MLK, Charlie Kirk, everything needs to be exposed to the American people so we can gain full confidence and trust in our government. And this would make everybody understand, okay, so this is where I am, this is where you're at, this is what's happening. A lot of people that are causing violence, and because they're thinking that they're getting half the truth or false information, and they're wanting to terrorize somebody because they're saying certain things that could be the absolute truth, but they have no evidence because we have the government and politicians covering it when they know the full truth. It's like they want to intentionally divide the country, but they don't want to throw themselves. I know there's so many people in government that do not want to throw themselves under the bus. And there's no other explanation. I can't think of any other explanation why the government can't be fully transparent. I mean, the only thing a lot of people have said, and I believe, is that they're really hiding something from the American people. They don't want to tell the full truth. And at this point, you're either going to get to the point where you either expose the full truth, or we're just not going to make it to the 250-year anniversary of this country. We're just going to be done with this country, and we're going to have to start from scratch. And if that's going to be the case, then we should start preparing and doing things to prepare for that. Because we do not want to have an all-out war. We don't want to have a civil war. We don't want to have a revolution. We need peace. And in order to bring peace, you need to somehow figure out a way to disclose everything to the American public without everything going into chaos. I'm hoping this is what the government is really reaching for. Because this is what the American people deserve, is the truth. And by the way, saying all this, I do, feel bad for Tim Pool. Nobody deserves any type of violence against them, regardless of what they believe in, what they say. I'm hoping his security is getting a little bit more tighter, and, maybe putting a further out barrier so, nobody can actually reach his location. I mean, it really sucks to hear this type of stuff, and it just so happened it was right after he was talking so much crap about Candace Owens. I'm not saying that it was coming from Candace Owens or any of her supporters or fans, but maybe there is something that Tim Pool may have said that triggered somebody to make them want to cause some sort of violence against him, and that is unacceptable in this country.
Now, it's important to note that all of this here is coming months after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, who was another big right-wing political voice. The founder of Turning Point USA fatally shot as he spoke to a large university crowd over in
Tim
Orem,
Pool doesn't
Utah.
like being
That
called
was back
right-wing.
in September. As for this investigation here, it is still underway, so we are going to bring you any kind of updates, a news conference, or potentially any other remarks here on Live Now from Fox, as we always do.
And listen, I don't watch Tim Pool in every single, video upload that he does. But from what I have heard him say is that he doesn't want to be right-wing or be called the conservative. He doesn't want to be entirely leaning that way, whatever. You still speak on, I know that you've spoken on things that, are leaning more to the right, and that's fine. But, I mean, just to be truthful to who you are and present it to your audience, that way people aren't mixed up and being like, well, who are you? Whose side are you on? Are you on the sidelines or who? I think the overall takeaway from this video is we need to start pushing our government into exposing the truth on everything to help stop this madness of people wanting to cause violence on, anybody speaking on politics of any kind. And, that includes Candace Owens, Tim Pool. I mean, we do not need them to do something evil in this country. That's the true evil there. If Tim Pool is, clearly saying that, he's fighting against evil, you should know the consequences when you fight evil. When you fight evil, you better be expecting something in return. And you need to be prepared and ready in self-defense, what kind of defense it is. Do you guys believe out there that we need our government to tell us the 100% truth on everything, to be fully transparent and so we can trust them? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. Till next time, peace out everybody. This one's for Charlie.